us on the show. The Road Authority levy has already been implemented, PS. So for the benefit of someone at home who doesn't understand what it is, can you start by explaining to us what is the Road Authority levy and why is it important?
Thank you very much for raising this important question. I think you will recall that sometime last year, the Minister of Public Works and Transport piloted a bill then in Parliament towards establishment of the Roads Authority Agency. The Roads Authority Agency is a public institution responsible for maintenance of roads in the country. So Eswatini is not the only country that has roads authority agencies. Actually, almost all Southern African countries now do have the roads agencies, But then how then roads agencies are financed? They are financed through the usage of roads infrastructure. So those who use the road would then pay a certain amount of money, to finance operations of the roads agencies, like for maintenance of roads and to some extent also construction of new roads. So how that is done, they would normally in other jurisdictions establish what we call roads tolls, roads tolls. And roads tolls, like when you use a road, then you pay for the usage of that road, and then the roads agency would then take that money back into maintaining the roads infrastructure, And another way of raising funds for maintenance of roads, it's through licensing of motor vehicles, licensing of motor vehicles. So all that money would go to the financing of the roads agencies. And also now the third one would be fuel levies, So countries will then determine, which one of these roads financing streams will be viable for them. So in our case, the issue of roads toll was also discussed, but it was said, no, for now, let's put it in abeyance, until such time that, the economy picks up, because, like the people who use the roads often, we use them for various reasons for transportation of goods and services. So if you're going to put in a road toll, that cost will be transferred to the end users, So Parliament then said, no, for now, let's not explore the road toll. It's a discussion that is still alive, particularly for some roads. Particularly the road from Ngwenya to Manzini, for example, which is one of our main heavy. It's a discussion that's alive. I'm not sure when, that will come to fruition. But then again, we said, the road toll for foreign registered vehicles will still be collected, at border points. So we are collecting that road toll. So if you're using a foreign registered vehicle coming into the country from either Mozambique or South Africa, you pay, a road toll, at the borders. So, but the collection of that resource fund stream is very small. Maybe it is in the region of about 70 to 100 million or thereabout. So it actually wouldn't make any impact, in terms of roads maintenance. Then Parliament, there was then a discussion to say, let's see how then we could collect revenue through fuel levy. And there was a discussion around that.
Were the different stakeholders consulted, PS, like the road transport associations?
Yes, there was serious consultation with prospective users of the roads and also with transportation at the time, because transportation associations and the councils, but we finally settled it, for 40 cents, So the 40 cents was some kind of a happy medium, I would say, because again, we're saying, the 40 cents must not, the levy must not be heavy, to a point where, it will overburden, taxpayers, but also not too small to a point where, even the collection doesn't make economic sense for the purpose for which it is collected, So we reached that happy medium of 40 cents. Then the ministry responsible for finance was then the one who would then give guidelines as to how it is going to be collected and how it is going to be reported on in terms of accountability. A decision was taken again then that it would start being collected. This is last year. But again, Ministry for Finance then said it would be best then to start collecting the fuel levy at the beginning of the financial year, which is this financial year, April 1, going forward. So when April 1 arrived, yes, then we started through the Ministry of Natural Resources, then collecting, that fuel levy.
How is the Road Authority levy going to be administered, PS, considering that currently in the country we do not have the Road Authority agency?
So when the levy is collected, it is deposited in a dedicated account, sitting at Nedbank. It's not like money that is coming to government directly. It will be going to that dedicated account. Yeah. For now, because the governing body for the roads agency is not in place, so the funds are not used for anything else. They are just collecting into that account, so that when the governing body, the roads authority governing body, gets into office, then they'll be the ones who will then use those funds. That is not the only one that is actually collected. Currently, what's going into that account, it will be the fuel levy, it will be the road toll that I spoke about, collected from border points, and also vehicle licensing fees. They'll all be going to that.
Can you share with us, PS, how much you want to collect each year from this Road Authority levy? I'm sure as you are implementing it, you have some projections.
If in a given year, we say probably going to collect from all these sources, so we are estimating, because these are kind of user, we're estimating that we probably will collect, say, in the region of 280 to 300 million in a given year. And when, like, the requirements for a year, current requirements for maintenance in a year, I'm saying about, like, it's counting into several billions. So the account will then have to accumulate for several years before it can start being, like, useful. Because, just one road, for example, your MR3, the road from Gwenya through Eswatini to Matapa, currently, just this year alone, that road, it requires, like, for its complete refurbishment, over $1 billion, Emalangeni, just to get it back to state. If you look at that road, if you can travel in that road today and drive very slowly, you start seeing, like, cracks, huge cracks in the middle of the road. If you're going down to Kasomjalose, the road is separating in the middle, and it's because of age. It's not like maybe it was poor construction. It's because of age. That road was constructed in the 1990s. So it was actually very solid, because, 30 years down the line, the road needs to be redone, completely redone. So it has reached a stage where it requires to be. So we need that money. It's not like when government, or when we start collecting the roads levies and things like that, and then budget requirements from government would stop completely. They will reduce gradually, over time, But now we're saying, let's all carry that responsibility, to make sure that our roads are in a good state of repair.
Mhlambe umbukele ekhaya PS utati buta kwekuthi engabe vele uhulumende uyidzinga kangako le mali aze afune nekuyithatha ngalakithi. How much do you need as a ministry for rehabilitating, maintaining roads and building new ones?
It would look like probably quite a lot of money. It is actually not, if you look at the budget requirements for maintaining public roads, and maintenance of public roads in any given year. The backlog that we have a backlog of over 6 billion emalangeni in terms for maintenance of public roads. Most of our public roads are in a very, very serious state of stress, due to lack of maintenance.
You are saying, PS, this road levy will be so much important because it is going to help in the backlog of over 6 billion emalangeni that you still need as a ministry to maintain and rehabilitate the roads. Asethembe PS kuthi le mali letawukolekwa la yimali lesitawugcina bese siyayibona seyakha yona le migwaco njengoba isimo semgwaco even singasiso lesihle kahle. Thank you so much, PS, for joining us on Market View.